Hello, everyone. My name is Shane Schultz, and you're listening to the Zubia Live channel, where we are the health and wellness live streaming interactive community, bringing you our new exciting show, The Dr. Jeff Show, hosted by none other, Dr. Jeff Gardere. Dr. Jeff is a board certified psychologist, well known in the entertainment industry, as well as his community. Dr. Jeff, it's great to have you here today.
Well, Shane, thank you so very much for having me and helping me launch the Dr. Jeff Show, for being my co-pilot in this endeavor. It's really wonderful to have you. And we want to remind people that the great Shane Schultz also has, he's a top anchor here at Zubia Live, but you can also catch him every day on his show, Motivated Strength, which is on Zubia Live and as well as on your Facebook, right, Shane?
Yes, sir.
And where can people find you on your Facebook?
Well, they can find me at Speaking of the Heart at Facebook, and then that'll bring you right to Shane Schultz with the Speaking of the Heart Radio Network. So I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, Shane's face is always in the right place. All right. So you make sure you check out his show, Motivated Strength. Shane, in addition to your being so generous with your experience to help me break into the Zubia Live family, one of the things that I thought would be great for us to talk about is this whole idea of divorce, something that thank God you have not experienced, because
I have chosen to find that one person that I want to marry. So that's my choice.
There it is. So he's not in that territory yet, folks. One day he will be, and we'll wish him well on that. But for those of you who are married, as I have been married, Shane, we shared the statistic offline. 40 to 50% of married people end up divorcing. I know you were shocked by that a little bit, weren't you?
A little bit. I was. Yeah, I sure was. You know, I mean, that's kind of a scary number, actually. You know, I mean, there seems like a lot of people are getting in relationships that aren't working out. Why is that?
Well, I think they're just not ready for the relationships. Unlike you, you're taking your sweet time to make sure you find the right person, to try to get it right the first time, sometimes the second time, third time's the charm. But, you know, I tell people, look, when it comes to the idea of marriage, it's serious business. Take your time, find the right person. It's that person that you want to build a dynasty with, not just someone who's just another cute face. But here's the good news, Shane, and to our audience. The divorce rate is actually dropping here in the United States. And I don't know, what's your idea on it, Shane, as to why that rate is actually dropping?
I think people are being more conscientious of what it is that they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're taking ownership a little bit more. You know, they're going to school for a reason. They have purpose. Once they find that purpose, they want to find that person that's going to, you know, interact with them in a unity as opposed to just one relationship. I think that that's what I've made mistakes in relationships in the past, is the fact that you know, it wasn't two relationships that was in a unity. It was both relationships just became one.
Right.
So, you know, you have two relationships together and coming into as one, and that's important to know. And I think that that's happening more.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And I think, look, I don't want to sound jaded here, Shane, but, you know, the other thing is people just can't afford divorce anymore. And even that's a really tough thing, because we find that, you know, I don't know if you saw this, Shane, but there was a statistic that said an ever increasing population of folks who are divorced or getting divorced are still living in the same house. Talk about messy, right?
Wow. I don't know if I do that one.
Yeah, well, some people are forced to do that, but you know, I think what you're doing is the right thing, and taking your time and making sure that you find the right family unit. But unfortunately, Shane, as we know, as the statistics show, people do get divorced. And I say, look, try to make your marriage work by any means necessary. However, if there's some situation where it won't work, such as domestic violence, or people no longer trust one another, or the cheating just keeps going on and on and on, and people just don't trust each other anymore, or unfortunately you're married to someone who you not only don't trust, but who's also a liar, and that, boy, that's a tough one. You know, my mother used to say all the time, would you rather marry a thief or a liar? So I think the answer is, yeah, marry a thief. But either way, I think you're in trouble with that. But don't marry a liar. And when that happens, I think that's when you are looking at divorce, and it has to happen. But Shane, what I say to people all the time, if you have to divorce, then it should be a healthy divorce. You know what I mean?
Well, now wait a minute. I've never seen one of those. I mean, when you're watching on television, when you're watching the movies, very rarely do you ever see anything being, agreed upon, much less something that would be healthy. So tell me, how does that work?
Ah, my dear partner, now you're on the right track for a lot of folks listening as to where we're going with this. And in fact, yes, we do need healthy divorces because we know divorces make people sick. There's collateral damage of their kids really being screwed up from it, a lot of psychological issues. We know the financial toll is huge. So I really like to see it as people shouldn't limp away from a divorce or a failed marriage, licking their wounds, and then they're upset, and then they go into another very destructive relationship, or they go into that other relationship where they're really angry and hurt and they take it out on an innocent bystander. Instead, you should grow from that situation, learn from that situation, be stronger so that the next time you get into another marriage, that you're better prepared for it. And that's what I'm talking about. But with that, as you know, Shane, there are a lot of do's and don'ts in order to be in a healthy divorce or come out of it.
Well, really, any healthy relationship definitely has do's and don'ts to it. So why don't you start out with what's the don'ts?
Well, I think you know some of those don'ts, even though I don't want you to do it. You know about some of those don'ts, Shane, and we discussed one of them. Here's the first one. I don't know if you've run into friends who've done some of the same things, some of your friends who've been divorced, running out and dating on the rebound.
Right.
Yeah, that one is really, really tough because what you end up doing is not only do you end up using someone else in order to heal, I think they call that sexual healing, but not in the right way, but you end up using someone else, using them as a page holder, in fact, for a healthier relationship later on. So it's just really not fair at all.
Sure, I understand that. I can definitely understand that. So, all right, so we're talking with Dr. Jeff Gardere, and he is giving us some knowledge in regards to how to have a healthy divorce. And you gave us one of the don'ts there.
I'm going to give you a couple of more don'ts.
All right, let's go. Let's keep going.
As we say in Jamaica, don't do it. Don't do it. Other don'ts. By the way, Shane, why do you think I can give such great information about healthy divorces? Take a guess.
I don't want to talk out of school, but I happen to think that you were in one of these divorces that you talk about.
That's right. If you talk the talk, you better walk the walk. And that's why, very much so, I believe in healthy divorces. Because believe it or not, I had one, folks. I had a healthy divorce. Don't get me wrong, Shane. It hurt like heck. Trust me. My wife, at the time, she left me. She said, you work all the time. You're never home. I said, but my dear, I did everything for you. I bought you a penthouse. I bought you a beach house. She said, but you weren't home. None of that stuff matters. You weren't there. Right. So you know what the lesson is there, right, Shane?
You need to balance your life out a little bit, right?
No, you need to get a prenup because she still wants half.
Well, she balanced it out herself, right?
That's right. No, you're absolutely right, Shane. It really is about really balancing out, your work life, your social life, and so on. So, the don't again here, this is even before you get to the divorce, is don't work so hard that the fruits of your labor end up causing a divorce. So be there, be in the moment. But the other thing, when it does come to, one last thing I do have to tell you.
Okay.
Every single day that I was married to this lovely woman, she had a migraine headache. The day I signed the divorce papers, guess what?
No headache.
No more headaches. You know what the moral of that story is, Shane?
I think you're going to tell me. What is that?
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Well, okay. The other thing you don't want to do, because we are starting to run out of time here, don't self-medicate with alcohol and drugs. Shane, so many people, they're in pain from their divorce, so they begin to overeat, they begin to drink too much alcohol, too much random sex. All of it is a self-medication to make themselves feel better. Stay out of shouting matches with your ex. Even if your ex isn't nice to you, you be nice to your ex. Lead by example, because that divorce really needs to be something where you really keep your self-esteem and you keep your dignity. And if there are children involved, you want to show them that you can be a gentleman or a gentlewoman through this process. You don't want to burn the house down psychologically. And the thing that I found was really important, not to personalize the situation when it comes to the attorneys.
Oh,
especially the ex's attorney, you feel that they have it out for you, but in fact, the only thing that they have it out for is to collect that mean green. They're just representing their client, and therefore, don't give yourself the agita, as we like to say, in that situation. So what are the do's? The do's, first of all, look at divorce mediation. Okay, statistics show that divorce mediation can save you a lot of money when it comes to final settlement. So instead of having an adversarial relationship in this particular divorce, you are now leaving it in the hands of the divorce mediator. You come to terms and you walk out of it, both of you, with your dignity and perhaps your wallets intact. Take your lumps and go through the mourning process. But as you go through the mourning process, you're also learning as to what you may or may not have done right in the relationship. So even if it's your partner who leaves you, it's important for you to take responsibility as to what was going on in the relationship where it was at risk for maybe cheating or other dysfunction. And it'll make you a stronger person when it comes to your next marriage. Be amicable
side of the street, so to speak.
Exactly. Surround yourself with supportive people. Listen, now I know, again, you've known friends who've been divorced. What do their friends usually say in their ear? What are they saying in their ear all the time, Shane?
It was their fault. That was the other one's fault, not yours.
Exactly. You don't want to be surrounded by yes men or yes women. You want people who are actually going to tell you the truth. The truth hurts, but this is where you grow as an individual and become more competent for your relationships. Also, it's a good time to take care of yourself. A lot of people don't know that you, Shane Schultz, you are in tip-top shape. Not only do you have great hair, but folks, trust me, Shane is in great. You were an athlete, weren't you, Shane?
I was an athlete. I have a neck injury with chronic nerve pain right now, but yes, I was an athlete. I was a golfer, so that definitely required me to be in shape, and I used to box a little bit.
All right. And you know that it is a great catharsis, isn't it? For not only keeping yourself physically fit, but also psychologically fit too. Yeah. Right?
That's very big on me.
Yep. Get a healing hobby. Shane, take a guess as to what my hobby was when I was coming out of my divorce and I was healing. Take a guess. If you can get this, man, you're just amazing. I'll give you my Captain America shield.
Was it chess?
No, that was during the marriage we were playing chess, psychologically. It was plants.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I made my kids crazy. They would come over to my new apartment and they'd see all these plants, and I had a real green thumb. I couldn't believe it. But what was really important is symbolically, it meant spring. It meant new growth. I wish I had some on my hair. It meant new beginnings.
Right. The nurturing. Right.
Exactly. So get a hobby, something that really turns you on, something you can be passionate about. And finally, if you need it, attend a support group. That's so important, to speak to other people who are going through a divorce or who are divorced and who can help you with empowerment strategies. However, like I said before, don't start dating right away. So there are going to be a lot of people that you think are eligible. No, they're hurting just like you. So don't date within your support group. Just offer support.
I get it. The do's and don'ts. The do's and don'ts of a healthy divorce. Wow, that is pretty awesome. I would not have thought of this one.
I hope you took notes, because one day you will be married.
I took notes for sure. I have my own little history. Trust me. I've dealt with things. My mother was divorced with my biological father. One thing that I learned was, abandonment issues that came from it. So, you're talking about responsibility. You're talking about cleaning your own side of the street. You're talking about not making it adversarial. Those are the types of things that can definitely make a difference, not only for you, but also the ones that are around you, whether it be, your children or your ex-spouse, whatever the case may be. It definitely can make a difference, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Shane, those are the tips to having a healthy divorce. As we say, we never want you to have to divorce, but if you have to divorce, make it a healthy divorce. And Shane, thank you so very much for guiding me through the process, being my co-host, my co-pilot. And folks, absolutely, you can find Shane Schultz on his own great show, Motivated Strength. So Shane, I know we've run out of time. Why don't you just take us on out of here?
I will do that. Thank you, sir. Folks, you have listened to the new Dr. Jeff Show with Dr. Jeff Gardere here on the Zubia Live channel. We are here in order to be the health and wellness live streaming community for you, bringing health and wellness in a number of different angles. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Zubia Live. You'll have the Z and the L capitalized, and you're all set to go. Real things, real people, real issues, and a real difference. Thank you for showing here and being with us. Dr. Jeff Gardere, it was awesome to have you here tonight, and we'll talk to you again next week.
That's right. See you soon, my friend. Bye-bye, all.